I think one of the things that we as Bank Hapoalim can offer, and this is what I'm using while I'm showing people, is the ability to impact the entire industry. Because when you're working with Bank Hapoalim, which is a huge sector in the Israeli financial scene, everything that you do has the potential to impact the entire industry.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley, in partnership with Leumi Tech, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Sarona Partners, and in media partnership with C-Tech. Welcome everyone to 20-Minute Leaders. Meet Ronen Yochpaz, Vice President of Information Technology, Bank Hapoalim. Ronen is an entrepreneur and information technologies expert, combining practical and theoretical knowledge in advanced technologies with proven experience in leading complicated projects in innovative technologies. Ronen Yochpaz, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for joining me today from the Bank Hapoalim offices, right?
Thank you for having me. I'm quite excited to be part of this podcast, to be honest.
Thank you very much, Ronen. I've been meeting a lot of, people at VP positions in product and IT and engineering, et cetera, in a variety of startups, but not yet from a bank. And so it's going to be an interesting journey with you in these next 20 minutes to sort of uncover what does leadership and innovation look like within an institution such as a bank, not just a bank, but I believe Israel's largest bank, Bank Hapoalim. And innovation is happening all around us. We're seeing what's happening to the financial industry everywhere. And you as Vice President of Information Technology, I'm sure that you, reading the headlines, you have to get the wheels moving and be able to come up with some interesting decisions as to what's happening. So Ronen, tell me a little bit about yourself and let's dig deep into what you do.
Okay, so first of all, let me maybe introduce myself with more than just one sentence. I'm 48 years old. I've been with the bank for the last 7 years, but before I came from two startups, which was quite an experience, to be honest. One of them is still running and kicking, and I'm waiting for the day that it will bounce and be a unicorn. And before that, I was many years in the army, in the different type of information technology units in the IDF, MAMRAM, and stuff like that. So I'm bringing a vast experience in IT, and also what's unique maybe that I'm also bringing experience in building something from scratch, like taking an idea and making products out of it. I also have a PhD in information technology, which gives me also the academic side and maybe academic understanding regarding the things that we are doing. And in the bank, we are basically, I think, let's call it the software house of all the different products, of all the different services you can find in the different channels of Bank Hapoalim. Managing your account, the ability to take credit, the ability to buy and sell stocks, everything is being developed inside Bank Hapoalim, of course with partnerships all across the industry, but we are the software house of software company of Bank Hapoalim producing those products. Every day there is a new product or a new service that is being introduced to the world from our division.
So if you're looking at the headlines that we're seeing today, we can't ignore what we're seeing. We can't ignore the trends, and there's a lot of confusion around what's happening. What does a person in your position do as you wake up in the morning? Maybe your kids even send you on WhatsApp this new article from TechCrunch talking about the new NFT crypto mumbo jumbo that's happening. How do you make sense of it all and come to make a decision about this new world?
First of all, it's not mumbo jumbo, the crypto thing. Maybe we should talk about it a little bit in a few minutes.
There you go.
Not mumbo jumbo at all. It's an amazing technology with amazing things that we can do, especially in the financial sector, but let's keep it for later on. We're trying to see all the time that we are bringing the relevant services at the right place to our customers. One of the things that we are trying to see is the customer in the center, because today there is I think everybody can say there is a competition on the customer, because everything is a click away. Like if a few years ago you wanted to consume any kind of banking services or any kind of financial services, you had to go to the bank. Today, the bank is with you everywhere. And it's not only the bank, it's also the competition, like Google, Apple, everything that we can read on the papers that Google and Apple are trying to give some kind of financial services to the customers and to the Israeli customers as well. So the competition is very, very strong. And we're trying to keep with the competition. That means we're trying to give a simple, advanced services to our customers. Let me maybe show one example. It's the BIT application, for example, that many people don't understand or don't correlate it to Bank Hapoalim. It's a service from Bank Hapoalim that allows any kind of person to transfer money quite easily to a different person via a few clicks in the mobile app. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to align our financial capabilities to a simple experience that can meet any kind of customer, any place. That means if you want to consume financial services, today you can do it anytime, everywhere, from your mobile device, from starting opening an account, like using the Open application of Bank Hapoalim that allows you to open an account in 7 minutes, and ending in advanced services related to stock exchange, stock market exchange, any kind of credit issues, loans, deposit, everything can be done quite easily today from any kind of channel in your spare time, in the evening, in the morning. So this kind of, let's say, experience must aligns us or must make us think all the time how we can improve and make our services more relevant to keep up with the competition and to bring the best service we can find to our customers. Because as you stated, Bank Hapoalim is the largest bank in Israel. We are also 100 years old. So we must always move on and modernize our services.
Incredible. And so if we're looking specifically at crypto in this regard as this new technology that is enabling quick, fast movement, fast-paced changes, a lot of autonomy and independence to the customers, how does a bank and specifically VP of IT look at this technology and make sense of how do we now guide the strategy with this new shift in consumer behavior?
So it's an amazing question because the entire financial industry is trying to see what is, let's say, the best way to align the traditional banking with this kind of new banking. Because I'm calling it a new banking because the basic idea behind it that there is no bank in the middle. Like the banking industry can be, let's say, accomplished by no mediator in the middle. So
Right.
it's a banking with no bank. But one of the things that we see that eventually there is some kind of a trust that must be aligned with your capabilities or with your, let's say, needs. That means you need to trust the someone that you are doing banking with. And as long as we as a bank can provide this service, that means we can be part of this new ecosystem of decentralized finance and give the trust element that is very, very, let's say, essential in order to keep the financial system working. This is where I see the Bank Hapoalim coming into the picture. That means, or any kind of bank comes into the picture. That means our ability to bring our credit and to bring our experience and knowledge and technology and professionalism into this new kind of banking services driven by the crypto world. That means our ability to be a part in this new distributed way of new big banking system, which means that we can be one of the providers of those services in this ecosystem. It's not replacing the bank, it's just giving the bank a new platform to give its services in a different way. So this is where we're today. We're trying to see what is the best way for us, like as I stated, the entire financial system, that we can cooperate with this new kind of banking, this decentralized way of working in order to give the credibility, basically, that any kind of consumer looks for when he's trying to do any kind of a financial service.
So if we're looking at innovation within a financial institution like a bank, right? I mean, a big part of your job is, both innovating, but then facilitating the innovation as it moves forward and executing on that innovation. Well, what are the challenges of that? I mean, it's a weird dissonance that you're both living in one of the fastest changing industries ever, yet historically, financial institutions are also more complicated by nature, where innovation tends to take a little bit longer to take place.
So again, you are right. This is one of the main obstacles that we as a, let's say, large organization are dealing with. But if we are trying to see our capability to produce new products and our capability to be, let's say, competitive to other big vendors, like as I stated, the Googles and the Apples and the Facebooks, we are, to be honest, we're trying to embrace this new way of working in order to produce services, to produce products much faster. So that means that in the last 3 years, for example, we've embraced the new ways of working from the industry. That means we have embraced automation wherever we can. We are talking about DevOps. We are talking about continuous integration, continuous delivery. Those are curses in a technology language. That means we have the ability to move much faster, like the big guys, and we're also embracing ways of works that coming from the fintech startup scene. That means we are embracing agile methodology of working. That means we are working in sprints of 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we release a new product. We are working with something that calls tribes. That means we're transforming the way we're working. We're not talking about projects anymore. We're talking about small quantities of new services that we, as I stated, release all the time with the business side, working with us with high alignment to the business sides in order for us to answer the business need. So we're talking about embracing new technology that comes from the big companies and embracing new ways of working that comes from the startups. So together we are trying to move faster, and to be honest, we are quite succeeding in this manner. We have, for example, in the last year, while all the issue of the COVID-19 was going on, we have managed to release new services to answer the demands for digital services for the customer that staying at home in almost a pace of once a week. So this is something that is very, very unique, just as a proof to the, I think, huge revolution that we as a bank are moving, that the technology is in a way serving the customer much better. We are harnessing technology to serve our customers much better, but in a way, the technology also allows us in some cases to define the business services. We see the technology and the innovation as one of the key elements that allows us to offer our customer new services, new ways of doing business, new ways of working. And to be honest, it's quite amazing because the entire industry is going that some kind of evolution. That means we are all together embracing the digital services that, as I stated in the beginning, you can do everything today from home. You don't have to come to the bank anymore. That means you don't have to come to the branches, for example. You can do everything by the online.
How do you, as a leader, think through talent in a place like Bank Hapoalim? Because the market is crazy. Every day we see new headlines, and brand has such a big part of it. And how do you think through talent and engaging your current employees and getting new engineers to join the team as you build your digital efforts?
So to be honest, we are suffering like the entire industry in the Israeli economy now that there is a huge competition on talents. We see it everywhere. You just need to open any kind of newspapers to see that the market is hectic. Good people are being, I think, being. I don't want to use huge words, but they're being hunted, to be honest, by headhunters all the time, and it's a struggle. But I think one of the things that we as Bank Hapoalim can offer, and this is what I'm using while I'm showing people, is the ability to impact the entire industry. Because when you're working with Bank Hapoalim, which is a huge sector in the Israeli financial scene, everything that you do has the potential to impact the entire industry. We are embracing, as I stated, the cutting and even in some cases bleeding edge technologies in the financial market. We are using those technologies to show the people that they have the ability here to use the best technologies. And on the other hand, we are giving them let's say, the potential to impact the entire industry. Because, for example, I don't know if you know, but it's an amazing embracement of the entire Israeli community regarding Bit. Every person is using Bit today as a way of P2P, a money transfer between people, and it's now also becoming the best way to pay in commercial places like McDonald's, Domino's, and stuff like that. So I'm telling people, for example, if you come, you will have the ability to create the next bid, the next business applications, the next financial application. And in some cases, it's not just appealing to people, but they're also willing to come in order to gain the understanding of the financial world, to gain ideas regarding maybe new fintech companies. And it's part of our offering. Let's come to us, learn regarding the financial market in Israel, have the ability to impact, use the best technologies you can find, use the best ideas and new ways of working. So we're trying to use those advantages in order to appeal people to come and to work with us. And in most cases, we quite succeed, to be honest.
And now, Ronen, you've really, dipped your toes everywhere. You've, in academia as a PhD, in the military, and startups, and now at a financial institution at Bank Hapoalim. Why do you do what you do? So you've seen it, you've experienced the whole spectrum of the things that you could be doing, yet you choose to now be at this position in Bank Hapoalim. Why? It's a good enough question, I think.
I think the answer relies in my last answer. The ability to impact. I truly understand and I truly believe in it. Everything I do here as a financial institute that produce business product, produce business services that can basically touch many, if not all, of the Israeli citizens. It's an enormous power. Like the idea of that I can be part of the digital transformation and the new business services being produced, for example, in the crypto world, to be produced to the entire Israeli economy and maybe even more. It's something that, for me personally, quite appeals. It's not an issue, to be honest, of money. It's not an issue of. It's just the idea that what I'm doing here is basically the potential to touch Michael, to touch Ronen, to touch my 3 girls at home, to touch everybody in the Israeli society. It's quite appealing, to be honest.
And if you had to distill from, it's a two-sided question. Both, the most joyous moment or the most joyous type of experience that you go through in your day-to-day, but also the most challenging one of your role. So what is most joyous, but also the most challenging?
Managing people, with no doubt. This is like the main issue. This is most of my time because in one way, those are the best people you can find today. Those are the people that, in a way, redefining the entire financial market. They're using technology to redefine products, to redefine services, to redefine the way we're doing business. On the other end, it's quite a task managing them. They are very knowledgeable. They don't take shit for an answer. And they want to believe that what they're doing can truly benefit the customers in the Israeli society. So in one way, you need to give them the let's say, the place to work and to bring their innovation. On the other hand, you have to manage them to align to the business needs, because eventually we are also serving the business units here, the retail unit, the commercial unit. So it's quite a struggle to manage those kinds of people. And again, you have to understand that they have alternative all the time. They need to choose to come to work with me every day from start. Like every day, again and again, they have to choose to come to work with us, with Bank Hapoalim. And it's quite an issue to manage this kind of dilemma every day.
I love the perspective of them having to choose day in and day out, that they're going to continue choosing, making this choice, and going back, circling back to the beginning of the conversation about the way that you're approaching the new innovative technologies and the way that you're putting the customer first. I think that really, is a theme in this conversation, that you're talking about impact in the sense of the fact that the products you're building at the end are touching, really every person. It starts from the financial industry, but the ripple effect to our daily lives is incredible, and that as a motivator, I think is really, really amazing. And Ronen, I really want to thank you for spending these 20 minutes with me. I learned a lot, and I gained a lot of inspiration myself. And I think this it was insightful to hear from somebody in an organization that is often can be perceived as large and complicated, but at the end, 20 minutes talking directly about consumer experience and innovation. It was very, very refreshing. So thank you very much.
Maybe one last remark, that keep in mind that eventually behind any organization there is a people that are doing the organization. There is a Ronen, there is a Miri, there is a Anad, there is an Eti. There are people are doing this organization, and it's all about people eventually all the time.
Beautiful. Ronen, toda rabba. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you.